So when I think of watermarks, I think of this, or this, or this. And I'm not about that. Let's say you're posting your photos online and you want to protect your photography in the form of a watermark. But you don't want to ruin your image with a big, hi, this is my shot stamp all over it. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to make a watermark from scratch so that it isn't too obtrusive, where to place said watermark so that it can't be cropped out or it holds details so it can't be removed, and how to watermark your photos in the most effective way, protecting them from being stolen and putting a brand stamp on your work. The first thing you want to do is open up Photoshop, and we're going to start with a new document which is 1000 by 1000. So it's a square document. And 1000 by 1000 is quite big, so no matter how big your picture is, it should still be sharp. When it comes to a watermark, personally I like to think of it like an artist's signature on a painting. You don't see a painting where someone signed it and they've gone over the whole thing and they've just absolutely ruined it. You see a nice little professional signature. And at the end of the day, your shot is your painting. You're proud of it, you want to protect it, you want to brand it, you want to make it your own. So think of watermarks as a signature. A final touch to your shot, to the point where the shot isn't finished until it's got the watermark on it. Secondly, we're going to make a new layer and delete the background layer, so then we get these squares. These squares mean that it's transparent. So when you save a document with just the text on it, you'll be able to see through the background onto the image. Then we're going to take the text tool, and you're just going to start out by writing out what you would like on your watermark. And I'm just going to simply write Christian James. And because the background's quite light, I'm going to make that black and just shrink it down a bit so we can see what we're doing. Right, so Christian James. That's how you make a watermark. Thanks for watching. I'm fully joking. So you're going to want to choose a font that's quite thin, that looks smart, that looks professional. A thick font can take away from the shot itself because it's so thick, it's there, it's bold, it's right in the center. Everyone's going to look at that first. Whereas you want people to sort of look at your shot and then think, oh, it's watermarked. Does that make sense? So you're going to find a font so that it doesn't distract the viewer's eye. That is nice and thin, not too obtrusive. And this is the one that I go for. It's called Belanda. Never said that word before in my life, so fair enough. Cool. So you've got a base. This is the font you're going with. This is the text you're going with. This is your base. And then you're going to want to maneuver it and change it around and make it look nice. So for example, this is way too far apart for me. So I'm going to go up to the text here and I'm going to drag this up so that it's more in line, like that. We're overlapping. We don't really want the overlap because we want it to be legible. We want people to be able to read it. So I'm going to move the James along here a bit. Let's just make sure that it's nice and tight knit together. So basically, that's all you want to do. Make a document that's 1000 by 1000, and then type out what you'd like on your watermark. So it could be your name, it could be your initials, it could be your production company, whatever it could be. Choose a font that's thin and not too obtrusive, because if you pick a thick font, people are going to look at that and then look up at the shot rather than looking at the shot first. And you want the whole journey of the eye thing to work from the shot, not from the watermark. Now you want to save that as a PNG. Now if you don't save it as a PNG and you save it as a JPEG, it will have a white background on it, where if you put it onto your picture, you won't be able to get rid of it unless you use Magic Wand tool. And even then, it's going to look jagged around the edges and not clean. Now let's place it onto an image. So I've imported an image. This is an image that I shot up at Ogden Water, which is a local nature reserve in Yorkshire. And you're going to want to open your watermark in a separate document as well. From here, we're going to simply just drag the watermark over to the shot, drop it, and personally, I like to place it down bottom center. Now, I'm not too sure why. I think it just looks clean down there. So about this size, make sure it's dead in the center by using the line. Bottom middle, somewhere there. You kind of want to place it somewhere where there's some detail as well. So see how the light changes here. If anyone was to clone stamp this out or just completely try and remove the watermark in general, you want to make sure that it will look kind of photoshopped. So people looking at the picture will think, this is being tampered with. You're going to want to put it somewhere with a bit of detail. Whereas if I place the watermark here, someone could literally just come in, take this sky color and just stamp it out and it'd be gone. And it would look exactly the same. Center foreground, bottom of the frame, not too obtrusive. So when people look at the shot, they look at the middle of the picture and then they can find it if they need to. And then depending on your image, you can have it either black or white. So then once you've got your color down, where you've got your placement down, I like to set the opacity between 50 and 75% depending on the shot. So 50 on this one is a bit too transparent. I want it still to be noticeable. You look at the shot, nice photo, yeah, cool. It's not too obtrusive. It's there. Open Photoshop with 1000 by 1000 document. Write out what you'd like on the watermark. Your name, your company, your brand, your initials, whatever. Then choose a font that's nice and thin. Maybe one that looks like a signature, like a swirly font, so it looks clean, like an actual signature. Export that as a PNG, not a JPEG, because you'll have a big white box in the middle of your picture. Import your edited shot that you want to watermark, import the watermark into a separate document, and then drag the watermark into the tab, drop it on your picture, position it where you'd like it, and depending on the lightness of your image, change it to black, change it to white. Make sure to put it somewhere with some detail as well. Make it hard to remove. Lower the opacity just a little bit so it's not like an actual piece of text that's just been slapped on there. It makes it feel a part of the image. I post content every day, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. If you don't follow me for more. Really hope you enjoyed this one.